Does having a license matter?
Anybody can tell you something, but when somebody that is a professional, that is licensed, there's an accountability that will be held there.
What are some red flags that you think people should be aware of when they look for a provider?
One of the things I want people to look out for is someone that doesn't.
There's been a lot of talk on the internet about, does licensure matter? Hope I'm saying it correctly, but does having a license matter? Does going out getting credentials matter? If you're a PhD, what does that actually entail? And today, people receive information from, like we said, from Dr. Google, right? Dr. Google, they might go on ChatGPT. They might listen to these different radio personalities or internet personalities that are giving advice. And my question to you both is, do you think having professional credentials matter?
I would say definitely. I think, I think this is our way to force ourselves to be accountable, right? Because anybody can come and give you insight about like, hey, that behavior, I don't know. But when you are speaking to somebody that, has their credentials, is licensed, right? We have an ethical code to abide by, right? We are held accountable for what we say. Like, our suggestions, which are not suggestions, they're actual medical recommendations, right? That we're held accountable for that. And I think that's really important because, right, anybody can tell you something, but when somebody that is a professional, that is licensed, that is, credentialed, there's always something that you can go back to, right? There's an accountability that will be held there, right? So I think it definitely does matter. I know social media has a lot to say about specifically us BCBAs, right? But I think our field is working really hard to, push for that accountability, holding our ethical code, really, close to us and really following that path of, is it ethically necessary? Is it medically necessary? Are we, keeping the client in mind and not our beliefs and the family believes and, what other people want, but what is actually going to benefit this individual. I think that's where we are, that's where certification, licensure really matters.
Very well said. I like ChatGPT. I encourage people to use it. ChatGPT, Mr. Google, all of that. What happens now is they're changing it to at the end, even if they suspect that it's a little out of my range, like you need to seek help. And it will tell you to seek professional help, right? I also encourage people, if you want to go on social media and you want to, share and be an influencer, by all means, go ahead. There's a liability with that, though, right? When people are sharing on social media, they're sharing their own experience. They're able to get you through what you are going through because they went through it themselves, right? Well, experience can be expertise, but it doesn't match license because license is saying the board trusts this person to give you help. This person has gone through 3,000 hours, 3,000 hours of collecting hours, right? At a low minimum wage for some individuals, almost 2,000 hours just to graduate school on an internship where they're not getting paid for, right? And take a law and ethics exam. Some people pass it on the first try, some people don't. You can't even get your license to take the license exam if you don't pass that law and ethics exam. On top of passing the law and ethics exam, now you have to pass the clinical licensure exam. And that one is most strenuous exam ever. A lot of people don't pass it till the third and fourth try. And the ones that do pass it on the first and second try, people are looking at them sideways. What did you do to pass it? But I think the difference is the trust. The board has tested this person over and over again. This person doesn't just have a passion for it. Their desire put them through 4 years of strenuous work so that they can provide help for you. This person on social media went through some trauma and they're talking to you based on the trauma that they went through. Not everything works for everybody. So where's the liability in that? The liability coverage says if I'm going through something and I look at you and you tell me to do this and I do it and it doesn't work, I can't come back to you and say, hey, Dr. Google, right? What happened? It didn't work. So just like I said before, in terms of the ask or don't ask, look for what helps you. Look for what speaks to you, right? If it's not speaking the right words, you'll know because it won't work. And that's the difference, I think, between licensure and social media influencers.
What are some red flags that you think people should be aware of when they look for a provider?
this is just my opinion. I know a lot of people want someone that looks like them, someone that resonates with them, right? You do have a lot of African Americans that won't go to anyone that's not African American. You have a lot of veterans that don't want to speak to anyone that's not veteran. One of the things I want people to look out for is someone that doesn't listen to you. If you notice, hey, whether they look like me or not, they're not listening to what I have to say. They're constantly correcting me, right? They're looking for the answer first. You know, they don't really care about me. It's not client centered. Look for someone who actually listens to what you're experiencing, and then someone who will break down your goals and your step and gain an understanding. You don't have to experience what I experienced to try to gain an understanding of my experience, right? We have a lot of individuals that deal with racism and discrimination. Well, they feel like they can't go to someone who hasn't dealt with racism and discrimination. But if that person is trying to understand and listen to you, and they're able to see it from outside of the box so that they're not involved in it with you, they're gonna be able to paint a bigger picture for you.
Dr. Green, if families can remember one thing out of this conversation, what would you hope that is?
To ask for help. To ask for help. Just simply ask. It's out there, especially in our community. You know, I think that before the resources weren't there, they're there now, and you don't want to have to ask for help or be forced to ask for help because you have no other choice. So my big takeaway, and I hope that they take away from this, is that it's out there. You know, we're there. Ask for help. If you can't get to us, we'll get to you. We're doing a backpack drive. I said we because I'm about to join y'all. I'm about to jump on the bandwagon.
That was my pitch for you to come alongside
I
of us.
got you. I heard you, Harry.
You know, anything we do, you're right there with us, and I really appreciate
you.
The friendship and the
Yeah.
help that you guys provide us.
Thank you. Well, I just want to shout you out, Harry. I think I'm successful in a lot of ways because we have connected with you. I ended up meeting you off of youth football, but immediately you started, talking into me. I was able to connect with the BCCIE, that's the Black Chamber of Commerce in the Inland Empire. I was able to open up my practice, expand it. You kept telling me, stop thinking small. So I don't think you recognize the impact that you have on other people. I think that I am successful in connecting the way that I am. I'm credentialed with 11 different insurances. I'm contracted with 3 different programs. I'm collaborating with one program. We just collaborated with another psychiatrist. We're opening in Lancaster. We're getting ready to open up our STRTP. So a lot of things that I'm doing because I'm not scared to do it anymore. And that's because of the impact that you had on my life and my family's life. So thank you.
Well, no, thank you so much. That means so much hearing that. We think about me coming into this industry with no formal education, leaving the fire department, taking the risk to just be more involved in our community. It is very important to me that that I help and work with people like you who want to do for self, because there's so much power in wanting to do for self. And I really respect the fact that you're not out here waiting for somebody to give you a handout. You take your own life by your own hands, right? And to be a football mom, to be an AD, to get your PhD, to be a military vet, it's a lot, right?
I also wrote books, Harry, but you
You
didn't
wrote
say that.
that. Come on.
We're giving
Wow.
accolades.
But
Just kidding.
when we look at life and we think where all of us started from, right now there's some 8-year-old girl who might see you and be inspired by you. And my goal in life is to make this world 1% better than when I was here. Now I don't even know how I'm going to quantify that, but you're just going to know that I am at service to everybody to make sure we all grow together. And Yamile, what would you say you want someone to take away from this conversation?
I would say the same thing. I think that's like the number one thing that matters, right? Our goal is to provide support, resources, and the actual services. So, the ultimate goal is that they seek the support, they ask for help, and even if they don't know what to ask, to just, say, hey, I'm here. I don't know what I need,
I like
so,
that. Yeah.
Yes, and just how can someone connect with you, Dr. Green, if a listener's listen to this and they think, okay, I want to, reach out to Dr. Green and her practice or administrative staff, could they do that?
Yes, thank you for asking that. So they can go directly to our website. It's trueescapesvl.com, trueescapesvl.com. All of our information is on there. The name to our therapists are on there. Our bios are on there. Our location is on there. Phone number, fax, everything. All of our information is on there. We're also on Facebook. We're in LinkedIn. I think we're on Threads, but don't look for me on there. just stick with the website.
Okay, and then Yamile, if someone's looking to get access to the CYBHI program, can you kind of talk about that one more time and tell people how to get in contact with us?
Yeah, so you can go to the 360 Human Services website, 360humanservices.com, and then you can go on there and fill out the intake form, and this is how you can connect with us, and you'll be hearing from us no more than a business day. So
Got
yeah.
it. So, Dr. Green and Yamile, I want to thank both of you for sharing your expertise. And I know this is a long conversation, but I think it was a much needed conversation. I hope that someone listening to this who need the resources or help or services that we mentioned in this podcast, that they were able to reach out to us. And to anyone listening, just the main takeaway, I think, from these licensed professionals is if you need help, just ask.